Say what? Yo, who was that? ATL show coming live. We provide the world. Know that we are show. We had ATL Legacy, the podcast. Oh God, we're taking over for the ATL show.
Naya, what? What?
The ATL show's on. Duh. Get out! Get out!
Naya, it's supposed to be for adults only. It's supposed to be.
ATL, they're back.
It's my time again.
Anthony, Tioma, T Savage, Legacy. They're back. They're the best. Let's get it. Season 2.
I'm the best in this shit, that's fact. And there's only one reason that I came back. I'm here to set the fucking record straight. Okay. I'm the best you ever catch, just spell the way. First off, ain't no beef with the spitters in my city. But if it comes with 28, then shit get gritty. I'm shitty. Yeah, I shit on rappers. Either dead on the scene since you wanna be actors. This the message. I'm talking open hell with place. The school's over feeling foggy. I'll be patiently waiting. It seems y'all forgot who really runs the throne. Screaming y'all number one just because I was gone. See, ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the move. Going against me. Once when you ready to lose. The game, the street, the zone is true. This the message. Hope it leave you from me rappers. Sure. Yeah. The message. So y'all know. Yeah. The monster is back. And I'm at my spot.
ATL. We will be one.
Just-in-time accessories definitely have the bling and everything in between. Tiama Copeland is your independent paparazzi agent. Join her live online Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join her on Facebook at Tiama Sweetness Copeland or her fan page, Just-in-Time Accessories, or you can find her on YouTube at Tiama Harris. That once again is Just-in-Time Accessories. Everything is only $5. Nickel and lead-free jewelry. Tiama Copeland, independent paparazzi agent. Just-in-Time Accessories definitely have the bling and everything in between. Check her out.
Make sure you go over to Goli.com and get your Goli gummies today. They have 3 selections, 3 choices to choose from. They have the apple cider vinegar, the ashwagandha, and new, they now have the superfruit. In addition to going over to GoliGummies.com, make sure you use the ATL as your discount code and receive a huge discount. It supports the channel and the podcast. In addition to all of that, the gummies, they're a source of antioxidant. They have vitamins B9, B12, promotes general good health, helps improve your daily health, contains pectin, a source of dietary fiber, uses pectin as a natural prebiotic to support the healthy gut and immune system, includes the mother, a healthy strain of bacteria, antioxidants, and enzymes. Mask the unpleasant taste of the apple cider vinegar. It's simple, it's delicious, it's Goli.
We gotta get all this.
Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How you doing, Miss Tina Mo? Tina Mo's in the house. How you doing, girl? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this episode we call The Anthony Brown Show, or the ATL. I'm yours truly, Mr. Anthony Brown. I'm joined tonight with my beautiful co-host and a handsome guest. My co-host is Miss Tiama Sweetness.
Hey, everybody.
And the bold and the beautiful Miss T Savage.
Greetings and salutations. Okay.
Okay. And our sister from another mother, Miss Juicy Cakes.
Blessings, everyone.
And we're joined tonight with a very, very special guest who happens to be a relative of Miss Juicy Cakes, Mr. Mark Farentino.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, Mark. Welcome to the ATL. How are you doing tonight?
I'm super duper. Thanks for having me. How are you today?
Just wonderful, just wonderful, just wonderful. Glad you could be with us tonight. I heard so much about you that I just had to have you on here to share your story with everyone, that maybe you and your story can be a blessing to someone else.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Definitely. Before we get into that,
hello, everyone.
yes, Miss Tina Mo, how was everybody's trick or treat weekend, Halloween weekend? Did everybody go trick or treating?
I really got up in them streets this weekend, and that's why I'm tired. And the kids in the donkey because they all high on sugar at the school.
Okay.
And it's only Tuesday.
Wow. Well, speaking of Halloween, I had a video that I was trying to edit real quick before the show began to show y'all a lot of people's different various costumes from around the world, and I had the music set to it and everything. But for whatever reason, it was an issue with me editing and uploading, and I couldn't do it. So I uploaded some of the pictures manually, one at a time, to the system, and I'm going to show these pictures. These are some of the celebrities that have done Halloween. So here we are. Let's look at these costumes. Offset doing Rick James. Rick James, bitch. Cardi B and her daughter. Russell Westbrook, is that an athlete?
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Okay. Anybody guess who they're being?
They supposed to be Janet and Tupac, but I'm assuming, but neither one of them are attractive to me. Yes. Like Janet and Tupac, you know. But I'm just saying, you know.
Mary.
He's supposed to be Mary. I thought he was trying to be Cardi B.
What's that?
Mary Blige.
What's the person?
I don't know who that person was.
Oh, I know, because I don't know none of these people. That's Prince.
Yeah.
That's somebody being Prince, girl.
Well, look, I know Purple Rain.
You know who had a bad costume?
There's Lil Nas.
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. I saw a picture of her. I was like, she was scared of herself on the video. She was in the mirror.
Oh, well, we gotta show Megan Thee Stallion.
These are my two friends here that's in Atlanta, and their son and their kids, their son and daughter. Speaking of Lil Nas,
Megan Thee Stallion was like, oh my gosh, if we could just try to find that one in before we end the night.
Yeah, that's Lil Nas there.
LeBron. He look like that in real life. I don't know why I'm just playing LeBron James. We love you. They call you King James, right? King James.
That's John Wall.
That's who the cop is?
Yeah, that's the cop is Martin.
Yeah.
But the person behind it, I believe, is John Wall.
Omarion.
Who he supposed to be, Jesus?
He's supposed to be Omarion.
Oh, okay.
Look, he was so close to it that Omarion posted it on his own page.
Oh, this person is supposed to be a Mark.
Yeah.
You know my special behind with these contacts and these stupid lashes. I thought that was
the Black Jesus.
Mario and the Black Jesus. You know we got the Black Jesus over here. He got long gray hair and a gray beard and ride a bicycle. Jamaican man. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one.
The next one is really good. What y'all
Okay,
think about it?
then.
You don't think that was dead on?
Beyonce. Oh, Hillary.
Hillary Banks.
She was the ditziest woman on TV. Okay.
Tiger did
Somebody
that.
said,
A big meat vampire.
oh, what the baby?
Look at the
Oh,
knee.
That's supposed to be
cute.
Mr. Brown and his
Uh-huh.
wife,
And Cora.
Yeah.
Pamela. What is it, Pamela Man?
Yeah.
Pamela, yes.
Tamala and David, man.
That's
Cora.
dead on right there. Little many people. Who this Harpo?
I want a $5 foot long. Yes, they did that. The $5 foot long sub from Subway.
And Tony, next year, man, you could do Tina Ike in a limo.
Okay.
Or at the restaurant eating the cake.
Yes.
What is this?
Remember the guy who lied that gives all his advice to women and then he's married and she's on his wife or
They
something
gonna
like
have his wife saying that looking like a straight dummy.
I don't know what y'all talking about, but
it was on the news and everything, social media. And then when he did a public apology, that's how he was looking, with his wife looking like that with a bonnet on.
She needed to get her life all the way together. She part of the Barney Chronicles. It's all right. It's okay, baby. Oh, she the grandma from the Proud Family.
See her down in the bottom left-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
And who is this?
No, it's bedtime.
Oh.
Oh, we ready? You said there ain't no costume. That's the work of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Jesus.
Okay.
Tina Mo said I ordered a costume jury from Tam on Halloween. Just kidding. The jury is beautiful. Girl, shut up. Don't be trying to. Tina, don't start with me tonight, Tina. I'm trying to behave now.
Okay.
But thank you for supporting my bestie. Go, best friend. Best friend. Hey.
Moving right along, let's go into the question of the day. I think Juicy had a question for today.
Oh, I thought by me telling it to you, you were gonna just say
No, I just wanted to make sure it was appropriate.
Oh.
I didn't know we did appropriate.
So it was appropriate. So now I can ask it.
Wait, hold on, Juicy. Since when we started doing appropriate?
I gotta be censored.
No, what I mean by appropriate, because sometimes those questions can go into a whole goddamn 2-hour conversation.
Well, you know, the long when the person is not present, so I think we'll be just fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, the shade of it all, baby.
Yes.
So, how did I word it? Why do we forgive?
Why do we forgive?
Why do we forgive?
Mm-hmm. What is the
we
point?
Forgive
to forgive
so we can be free. Because at the end of the day, when you walk around harboring stuff, it eats you alive. And the person went on by their business and living their married life, and you the one carrying anger and holding the weight on your shoulders. I forgive so I can be free.
I agree with that. I think forgiveness is more or less about releasing yourself. It has nothing to do with the other individual. Because like I said, long as you're holding hate and holding anger and holding resentment towards the other person, trust and believe they probably already forgot why you mad. And they're having a beautiful life, but you can't have a great life, not even a good life or an okay life, because you're still trying to create a situation that doesn't even have to be. Just forgive, and move on. That's my philosophy.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm gonna have to bash you in your ass first, and bust your face to the white meat, and then I can move on. But That's part two. That's
You
another
know
story.
what? For me, like normally it takes me about 24 hours to process what somebody has done and to forgive them. And I legit one time tried to stay mad at my mama. And by day 3, I call her. I call her nigga sometimes. I said, look, mom, look, I can't stay mad with you. It's exhausting. It was too much.
It's draining. Yep.
It was too much. I said, you got that. I ain't mad no more. Let's move on.
I
I
give
felt myself. I felt pain in my chest in them 3 days just trying to be mad with her.
I tell people, give it 3 days. You know, if you can get over it before 3 days, great. But the max you should be holding it or going through whatever it is you're going through is 3 days. Because Jesus rose in 3 days. You know,
Oh, that's so.
you know what I'm
See,
saying?
you
That,
get 3 days.
okay.
Listen, some things might take a little longer than 3 days. This is very
Now, Anya, I want you to answer that question for me. Answer that. Let's see how well you know me.
Why do we forgive, Tiama?
She don't. She don't.
So,
think another
you
thing.
know what? Go ahead, Mark.
She have known me my whole life. Oh God, I don't forgive.
Once you burn the bridge with my dog, that's it. And depending on how severe you burning with her, you probably done burnt the one with me too, because I'm right on her trail.
I don't get a do over with me at all. At all. I've been there.
I think another thing about forgiveness, though we should forgive definitely to release ourselves, but I think something else is very important about forgiveness is that just because we're no longer mad at the situation doesn't mean we forgave the situation. And we harbor those resentments and they turn us into a callous individual, not recognizing that it's due to the fact that you held on to something that you should have long let go.
Tina Mo said, well said, sir. What's your name again, sir?
Mark.
I'm Mark Farentino. How are you?
Mark Farentino?
Yes.
Yes. Tina said, the reason I forgive is so I can be forgiven. But I have a question. And normally I don't have a question with the question of the day, but I got one this night. Most people say forgive and forget. Do you guys find it easy to forgive and forget? Because I feel like I can forgive you, but for some reason I can't forget because I feel like I have to make sure it's not repeated. But then at the same time, did I really forgive you if I'm not forgetting it? So that's kind of the part of it that I struggle with as far as forgiveness.
I don't think you should ever forget because then you're not forgetting allows you to build to make you a better person. For example, let's say if the person that did you wrong, let's say a friend stole something out of your house, stole something out of your apartment, or stole something from you, and then you forgave them. Definitely don't forget because forgetting is letting your guard down. Remembering lets you allow you to know what type of person you're dealing with. So if you choose to still continue to be their friend, not to leave them alone in your apartment, leave them alone in your car. Always have an eye on them. They go around.
If you got to do this type of stuff, you need to be around me. I ain't gonna do all of that.
For me, I what prompted this question was because I was having a hard time. Like I have a hard time with forgiving. I carry a grudge for a long time.
Are you a Leo?
I'm an Aquarius. And
I was just married to one of them. Yes, God.
We zero tolerance, done deal. One time.
Let me get the holy oil.
But let me tell you, I don't hold a grudge. I see you and not see you.
Mm-hmm.
You
see
what
right
I had to realize, in order for me to do that, I had to forget. In order to forgive, I had to forget. In order to truly forgive, because if I had an inkling of a memory, I ain't really forget that person. It was still something carried, like you say, that guard up. That was creating a blockage for me because I wasn't able to let go completely of what bothered me because I was there to make sure it didn't happen again.
So
and that'll keep me from moving forward.
I think that it's important to recognize when you know you have forgiven and because you're always going to remember what happened in your life. You won't forget it. That's impossible. How did you forget what happened? You forget what happened when it's been so long ago that you just forgot it. But often you will remember the situation. You know when you forgave, when you have the thought of it, but then there is no feelings of retaliation.
Right.
And then you know you forgive it.
That's true.
I feel like once people show you who they are, you believe them, and then you treat them accordingly. You treat them accordingly. Like Juicy just said. I think it was Juicy. I don't know. I'm tired. But somebody said, you don't bring stuff, let them come to your house. Different scenarios. If they take the stuff, you don't leave around your stuff. But I mean, I get it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love all y'all on here that know how to forgive people. I have never learned that art, and I don't even get in line to try to learn it. You get one shot with me. You either sink or swim. And if you can't swim, I'm okay with watching you drown. Period.
Ooh, helpful.
Period. And
I'm at least throw you the stick.
Forever.
The pool stick, the stick in the pool with the net. If you can't clean the pool with, I'll throw you that stick.
That's too
close.
And hope that
My
it can't
mama
reach
just
you.
told me 2 minutes ago, you make me so sick. I say, I know, but you can't do nothing about it.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
Wow. So does that answer your question, Ms. Juicy? Question of the day?
Yeah, it helped me especially on Savage, because I like what she was saying about for self, and that's something that where I was really looking at. It's not, like I said, me carrying it was a blockage. And so just wondering, how others aspects were, what is forgivable really is where it was like, why, are there limits to forgiving? Is there something that at the point that you just don't forgive?
And there's some stuff that ain't forgivable. I just need you to know.
That's true.
Some stuff is not forgivable. I don't care. Y'all gonna say God said, but listen here. He know I'm imperfect. So he know he can't put certain stuff on me and expect me to forgive.
Okay.
So if y'all come for me, remember I'm only flesh and he know this. So certain things I have limits to where I definitely cannot forgive.
Period. Okay. So moving right along, let's get into
Dear ATL is a segment of the show where you, the viewer, can write in and tell us about what's going on in your life. And we will read your letter and respond to your letter live here on the air. So if you're experiencing relationship problems, best friend disputes, baby mama, baby daddy drama, marriage issues, church hurt, church issues, and many, many more, send your letters to theanthonybrown@gmail.com.
Dear ATL. Yes, if you guys have any issues going on in your life, your personal life, and you need some help, some structure, some counseling, some directions, so whatever, send your letters to us, Dear ATL at theanthonybrown@gmail.com. And like the commercial said, we will read your letter live here on the air, and you have 5 different perspectives to respond to your letter, and hopefully one of them will touch base and be able to help you in your situation. So, Miss T Savage, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Go right ahead.
Dear ATL family, OMG. They put the letters real long, that's why I read it like that. Family, I need help. My son has been having behavioral issues for some time now. I said something was wrong. However, when I asked, he always said nothing. He was okay. The other day, he opened up and shared that his father had abused him. He also told me he didn't want me reacting at all. I love my son, and it's us against the world. However, my son, my world, His feelings matter most. He has asked me to let it go. His resolve is to let the relationship go too. He says as long as they never see each other again, he can't be abused. He makes it sound so easy. I'm ready to kill me a bitch. What to do, family? What to do? Signed, Mom.
Wow.
Okay, so for starters, you guys, this is what I mean about unforgivable. Next, go to prison, full throttle.
My first question is, what kind of abuse are you discussing? What kind of abuse? Is it verbal? Is it physical? Is it sexual? That's my first question. Is I wonder what type of abuse it is.
You know, me as a parent, I look at parent. Our job is to protect. So it to me, abuse, verbal, that's emotional, physical. Any don't matter.
Yeah, true, but I would react differently to verbal abuse than I would to physical abuse.
Why so?
Like physical abuse, I might be on 10,000 to get locked up. Like, you know, it's for me, it's a difference.
But let me give you
Not
an
to say
example.
I'm not.
Let me give you an example, Savage. Because you say you act differently toward verbal abuse versus physical. So let's say you left your daughter with their father, their biological father, and then your father comes home and say, because you have a daughter, and she comes home and say, "Mom, I don't want to go to Daddy's house no more." You be like, "Baby, why?" Because he abused me. Well, what kind of abuse? Well, I was sitting there, and then all his friends came over, and he was like, "Get your fat ass up and sit your ugly ass down," and blah 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 blah. That's verbal. Would that be okay?
I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm saying I would react differently. I would verbally nip that in the bud, but when it comes to physical abuse, ain't no verbal nothing. You're gonna see these hands. Something it's gonna be something escalated. It's not gonna be I'm going off on you or I'm snapping on you and that's the end of the conversation. No. When you cross the line of physical, you done made this other beast come out of me. It's a different kind of beast that's gonna come out when you say physical. Yeah, I handle the verbal as well, but not as severe as I would the physical.
Now, with either verbal or physical, per like the letter, the letter is saying he was abused and he no longer wants a relationship with his father. So whatever the abuse is, whether he stated it or not, his to him it's warranted not to see his father anymore.
Ever.
What about that? Like to me, that enough is I don't know. Some to me, some things don't need no. Some like with the heart, some things don't need an explanation. Like maybe expressing what type of abuse was, it would be too much for. And so, at the process of I accept it and I'm ready to just move on, we can go. But I'm like I feel you on that too. At levels of where do you draw the line?
I think.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry. No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're the guest.
Well, I was going to say I think that it ties into the first portion of the show where we were referring to the forgiveness aspect of life, right? And the part where you're saying, or the person is suggesting to end the relationship. So relationships never end. Relationships just change. I always know you. I will always know you. It's no way for me to unknow you, right? So I think that in that light, it's important that because I'm always going to have a connection to you, especially for a child to a parent, right? So, if we're boyfriend and girlfriend and I move to Paris and you live in California, and then time creates and distance creates space. But for a familial relationship or familial relationship where a family, you have a child that is always connected to this father. I think it's then that, maybe counseling needs to take place where you find help to understand how to forgive the abuse because the relationship will always be, you'll hold on to that forever, saying my dad abused me, and in that light, your life is hampered because of the unforgiveness.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, when he was saying something about, I'm thinking the fact that he came to his mom the way he did in the letter. I'm assuming that the mom and dad are not physically together, like under the same roof or in the same household. So it was
Yeah.
a situation where the child was with dad, got abused, came back home, and shared the story with mom.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, he's willing to, like you say, he's willing to um, X the communication with dad. And if you can do that, mom, and stay away from him, and you stay away from him, and I stay away from him, then I'm good. Because now I feel safe again. Although that may not be the final answer, there may be a temporary fix, to comfort the child. Because, like you said, as parents, the bottom line is your job is to safe, make your child feel safe, comfortable, and protect them. Hey, Miss Veronica. So at that point when your child no longer feels safe, then they can no longer trust you because you're not making them feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
They came to you with this story. They came to you to feel safe, and then yet you still have communication with this person. You still have a relationship with this person, and you're still allowing me and putting me in that position to feel vulnerable and unsafe. So now I can no longer, now that I not feel safe with him, I no longer trust you. You're part of the problem.
Not a problem.
Right. So first and foremost, yes, she needs to make the child feel safe any means necessary. So if it means cutting off ties or communication with old dude, then that's what she need to do, and get her coin, child support. Else, another way. Don't drop it off no more or put it in the mailbox. Send it through Cash App because we still need the coins over here. Whether you come here or not, we still need the coins.
Right.
So this is still your baby, But and you're gonna help me support him, and so you either send it or we go through the courts. But either way, we're gonna get our coins. You know what I'm saying? So you get to send them, or the courts are gonna make you through garnishment. But we will get them. But yeah, make the child feel safe first and foremost. Protect the child, and like you said, get counseling, get to the bottom of it, find out exactly what form of situation that took place. Because if it's like I said, Savage said, if it's just verbal, then that could be a discussion, or an argument, and be easily resolved. But if you place your hands on the child, or if you molested the child, or did anything sexual or whatever, or allowed your friends to do such a thing, then you're going to see your maker or the baker, but you're leaving here tonight.
Amen.
Amen.
So yeah, I definitely agree there that something has to take place, and there's no question about it. Period. Savage or Tiam, anything y'all want to say or add?
Listen, y'all know I'll be the first one. I'm going up under the jail. I'm going up under the jail.
Because girl, I know
So
you drive cars through houses.
okay, see, that's why I say y'all know me, honey. So I just don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. Listen, I just don't. I'm not gonna leave my son with somebody if I can't trust you just with you being you. I can't trust you with my jet. I'm sorry. If I can't trust you no further than I could throw you, and I can't throw you, honey, I'm not leaving my son. Not me. So I'm by me doing that, I'm protecting you by protecting me to not go to prison.
Hello.
Period.
Look, by doing that, I'm helping you to stay alive.
Facts.
Okay.
I kind of think that's also the purpose, maybe that the kid may feel, you know, would probably rather, with the way the world is today, you want your parent, if you want to be a forgiving person, You want your parents around. You don't want to send them and see them away, but you just don't want to have nothing to be. You don't want to be hurt no more. You know, so it could
Yeah.
be looked at that way too. But mm, I feel like you too, Tiana.
Okay. Them kids is a whole touchy subject, boy. Look here. I'm
Yeah,
over here
'cause they
rubbing my neck
innocent.
like, baby, I
Hmm.
don't know.
Wow.
With my nieces,
Interesting.
them Tony will tell you I was ready to catch all type of charges. Literally 1 day to 1 year after we found out my nieces them got molested, dude wound up dead. In my mind, I could not fathom it being my child that you ain't gonna make it a year in a day. You dying on that day. And if I can't find you, I'ma lure you out by your mama. So to know me is no, don't play with me with mine. Don't play
Okay.
with kids and old people and handicapped people and you going out your way, those are off limits. Off limits to me. Our elderly, our physically challenged human like people, they're innocent. So my brain don't know how to process you being a sound mind, sound body going out your way. But hold on, let me take that back. Because most people that rape kids and stuff like that, they literally have some illnesses. Some of them
Mm-hmm.
predators, they really have an illness. But I won't be able to understand your illness on no level when it pertains to anything that I love. So all crazy monster people, know your lane, know your place, know the people you're trying. I'm just
You
saying.
know, you made a good point about that as far as it's an illness too. And so to the mom,
Yeah,
I
man.
highly recommend counseling and help because at the same time, what psychologically or generationally what was done could be being done again. Like the
Mhm.
child could learn that behavior and do the same. So to make sure that it's not a let it be as if it's okay because in his mind it's okay. You got to make sure it's understood that it's not okay.
Okay,
But
yeah,
with
because
what she asked us in the letter, she's saying what is it that she should do. I'm sorry, there will be no time that my child informs me that some wrongdoing was done to them, and because they want to say, okay, we're gonna just let it be, he be over there. Oh no, we're gonna address this whole elephant in the room.
mm,
Because we actually did a show to where in black families, when things go on, it's like back in the days, okay, that happened. I'm going to talk to them, but nothing get done. I'm sorry, no ma'am. I was
yeah,
addressing him.
we did
I
the
would
show.
never allow my
Yeah,
child feel that something happened and I did not at least address it.
right.
Right.
Because he may feel that way
But in this
now and
letter,
later on be like, well, I told you and nothing happened. So as an
but
adult,
in the
you got to
letter
know
he's
when it's,
asking not to
hmm,
address it. But in the letter he's asking not to address it.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But
That's a difference.
I think
Because
what
at no
she's saying as
time
a
should a
mother
child
that
feel that
the
he should hold on that burden.
yeah, I think what she's saying as a mother is that the innate response is to protect, right? So you definitely going to speak up. I think that's what definitely Tiama is saying.
Because let me tell you, sometimes a kid will tell you something, and they don't. They probably feel that by him being male, he would dominate her with what's going on. So he like, okay, this what happened. But at all times, kids want to feel like whoever they're confiding in will protect them. He
Mm-hmm.
told his mother, as my child mother, there's no way I know any type of abuse, period, went on, and it will silence me. Me and my son would have had to have that conversation. Listen, I understand what you're saying, But as your mother, I cannot even go to sleep or begin to process if I don't say something. I know I'll be dead 2 weeks later. I'll be dead just for trying to not. It wouldn't work.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, you have to get it off your chest.
Okay. I'd be mad at the world and nobody will know why I'm mad. Because now she's taking it on and ain't doing nothing with it. Now,
Mhm.
address that. Address his black girl. Address
And
it.
I also believe too, though, that in addressing it, for the person who wrote the letter, I think it's good for your own personal healing because then, ultimately you could harbor those feelings of unforgiveness and resentment toward the father because you never had a chance to voice how you felt. And I think it's good to, not allow passive aggression to take its place or rear its ugly head in a sense in a case like that because and it's not necessarily to say that passive aggressive is the issue because the child asked, please don't say anything, right? But, you know, the mom is like, I have to say something because it just wouldn't even feel right not getting it off my chest. I think that's important too.
Another thing I was gonna say why I think the mom should definitely address it is because also it allows you to get the other side of the story.
Yeah, that's good. That's great.
Sometimes it may not be as severe as a child is making it appear to be or seem to be. Um, so once you address the other parent, they could tell you what was actually said, what the context was, how it was said, what they meant by it, if anything at all. You know,
That's true.
and if it's not as severe as, then now you go do a rebuttal or follow up with the child. You know, and go from there.
That's good. That's a great point. Because I think then parenting is not one-sided. Parenting is two people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's good. It
Because
can't just be the response of the mother. It's the father has an input too. And you right, children can blow stuff out of proportion.
So, in one of our previous shows, there was a scenario of a child wanting to say something, like how Tiama was saying she'd rather know. But gosh, however it went down, the child we wanted to say something, but he didn't. And like what you were saying, the mother, no, the child, the father proposed to a lady, and then he was sleeping with her mother, and the child brought it out to the fiance.
mm-hmm.
And this could even be a scenario, like you say, to speak up of the child may experience something that the father's doing, maybe even with a girlfriend or something, and not like that relationship and don't want. So using this as he did something, I don't want to go around anymore. So you got a good point. It could be other things underlining and
Yeah.
that makes it be, being said. Could be not true too. So Tiama, T Savage, do you feel, because you were like you need to know if the child's not willing to express what the type of abuse it was, speak to the parent and find out.
Hmm.
Nine times out of 10, the parent is not going to be honest. The other parent, because they know you batshit crazy, so they're not gonna be honest with what they've done. I'm just like this bit realistic. But I also feel like and that, I don't know in this particular instance. I'm just saying in general. I guess with your children, you have to have the type of relationship where they feel comfortable coming to you no matter what.
True.
And I'm pretty sure if they have that type of relationship, because she says her and the son against the world, I'm pretty sure eventually when he feels ready, he'll open up and tell her more. If they have that kind of relationship.
So what do you do in the meantime when it comes to the father?
Right. You
I
can't just
wouldn't
ignore it.
if my child, okay, so my child is asking me not to say anything. And after I said what I had to say to my child and they still don't want me to say anything, then I would respect that and not say anything. But my child wouldn't be in the presence of their father anymore. That's definitely a no-go.
But
And if Anya don't address the father, Anya, you'll be and saw that boy walking and ran him over with your car.
But my child won't have to know that it was me.
And she
I'm
didn't
letting
say
her think.
anything.
I'm letting her think. Okay, baby, I ain't gonna say nothing to him. Now, if I run him over, I ain't saying nothing to him. My car talked to him. My truck talked to him. I ain't saying nothing. I kept my things in the bargain. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying nothing
That's
to
why I
him.
say so she can figure out what is what, man. Just go talk to the dad, and you could tell him straight up. Listen, this is not something you go by and discuss with our son. What I'm discussing with you.
Girl, they'll get mad and throw it up just because you said don't.
And by the time I finish wringing his neck, see, that's
Child, let me
why.
tell you something. Now, if it was me in the
Go
situation,
get your kid from a sperm bank. Okay, go to a sperm
listen,
bank. Okay,
my daughter's
see,
dad, he ride rollerblades to work. So this would be easy fix for me. He always goes through downtown in roller skates. Always in the middle of the street
I
on roller
can't.
skates. Only black man I ever seen on skates in broad daylight. Skating from downtown all the way to the Westwood, okay?
But he got some strong legs though. Yay, black man.
BB, girl, listen, them legs ain't got nothing on them truck tires if you try my baby.
I'm
Please
about to
believe
say,
I know. I showed up believe it.
mm-mm-mm. So I guess in a nutshell, for the mom, support your child, stand behind them, but support your sanity as well, because in the end, you both gotta live. And
The only problem I have with Savage's response is, like I say, okay, yeah, you support the child, so that's great. Yeah, you believe the child. Yes, but if you're not gonna talk to the other parent, what and this parent is, like I said, paying child support and blah blah blah. But what if the situation really wasn't as severe as the child made it sound, and you'll never know because you just automatically took the child's response.
The thing about it is, you know your children.
But
You have to know your.
you also know
You
that
have to
man.
know
'Cause
your children.
that's a man. You also know that man. That's a man you slept with for X number of years until you had that child and even helped raising the child.
But it's different with your kid. You know your child.
Whoa.
You know what your child will
Wait,
do,
wait.
won't do.
Hold
You
on.
know.
Wait. Listen. A lot of us have like a baby from a man, and it ain't based on, oh, he was a good man, great provider. On you take the flow, cause that we about to have a whole nother topic. And girl, I'm ready.
We was
Go
hustling and I
go
got
ahead.
pregnant. Period. Period. But like I was saying, you know your child. You like if if I feel like if you know your child, when they come to you and talk to you about it, you will know if it's severe or if it's mild abuse. You will know based off the reaction of your child. If your child comes to you in tears and saying, Mama don't say nothing, like they're scared or something really done happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just feel like you know your child, and depending on the age of the child too, because if my child say Mama don't say nothing, I probably won't say nothing because I want to keep that trust with my child. And it would depend on the age too. Because if you 5 years old talking about don't say nothing, you don't run nothing in my house, you don't pay that bill. But if you 17 or 16 or something like that, and say Mama don't say nothing, then there might be something that we can work out. Because I want to keep the trust. I want to always keep the line of communication open with my child. Because once they close, it's hard to get them back open, especially with these generation, whatever they call ZX. I don't know. With these kids now, it's hard to reopen the trust. Once it's gone.
Excuse me.
now you made a good point about the age, and as far as like 5 now, 5 is
Mhm.
young because they're still, their mind's still molding. But like
Right.
9, 10-year-olds, these kids today, they the teenagers. The 5-year-old is the preteen, the 9 and 10 is the teenagers, and the teenagers are grown.
Wrong.
So
Who teenager grown? Not this one here.
well,
Huh.
not mine either,
Some
but the
teenagers
most of
ready
them
to have
in
a
the
baby.
world today are. I saw
Mhm.
somebody today on TikTok saying she was 28 years old, a mother of 6, and her grandbaby. She was blessed at 12 with a grandchild.
Blessed at what?
So at 12 with a grandchild.
The devil is a lie. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't understand. Ain't no way. I guess I was the type of parent that
Girl,
I kept my
I
foot on
just
my kid.
paused.
Listen, I kept my foot on my baby neck. Like she wouldn't even have time to really make no baby because I was always on her. I knew where she was at. Oh, you out of school? Grandma
I
pick
hear
you
you
up
no
from the bus
more.
stop. You going back to her house. It's cameras everywhere. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing. Ain't nothing.
The joke
Have you
around
out
here
here
is I'm
40 years
having
old
my
and grandma?
grandkids.
Tina Mo said, Tiama, it's okay. So Tina Mo, I hate to correct you, but I got to because you keep calling me salvage. It's savage, Mama. It's savage. Um, I really need for you guys to talk about me really bad when I say this. I really miss Legacy Mouth tonight. Talk about me bad. I want him to feel needed. Girl, shut
Uh,
the front door. Can we
Legacy
listen?
is
We about to
somewhere
lose.
that we need him more than now.
Hey, sis, Adrian said, hey, y'all, where is
hey,
Legacy? But
Adrian.
the fact that she said all of that, right? Can you put that coming back up?
She just wants attention, so we got to talk about her.
Tina, I'm about to come for you.
Oh, she didn't
I
include me,
really
so
miss
I ain't
Legacy's
gonna
mouth. I bet you do miss his mouth, little nasty. What? Tina Mo got some things going on, y'all, that we don't know about. That's why she missed that mouth. What that mouth do, though?
Oh.
Hey, Juicy, what that mouth do, though?
Okay.
Oh.
I said I was so mad because we got Mr. Marco. We got Marco here. I'm sorry, boo, but I just
You
say
are
him.
fine. You live your life. You are all right with me.
That girl say she missed his mouth. No ma'am, no have no spam, no shade, no tea.
He'll probably
Ooh.
get in, depending. Might get in.
Yeah, he may be a little late. He's going through something right now. But he said he'll be a little late. So, just prayers and everything go out to Legacy and his family. They're going through something right now. But if he decides to share the story, then he will.
Oh, it sounds pretty serious now. It sounds serious. I pray for little man. Y'all keep little man in y'all prayers.
No,
Definitely.
it's serious, Drake.
Yes, very.
Later. We'll talk later.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay, so that ends this segment.
Dear ATL is a segment of the show where you, the viewer, can write in and tell us about what's going on in your life. And we will read your letter and respond to your letter live here on the air. So if you're experiencing relationship problems, best friend disputes, baby mama, baby daddy drama, marriage issues, church hurt, church issues, and many, many more, send your letters to theanthonybrown@gmail.com.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now to the topic of the evening. Drum roll. Yes.
A mess.
I was trying to think of a topic tonight, and a friend of mine, a member of the show, Miss Juicy. I like your shirt, Miss Juicy.
Yes, I had to represent. I had to represent.
Yes. So anyway, Juicy was telling me so much about her cousin, Mr. Mark Farentino. I was like, oh, we just got to have him on the show. Reach out to him and see what he'd be willing to come on and tell his story. And he agreed. That's why he's here with us tonight. I had also asked a counselor to come on the show also to share some information and in case Mark wanted to reach out to the counselor, but she was unable to be with us tonight. She was called into work, unfortunately, but nevertheless, the best is here. You know what I'm saying? So we got Mr. Mark Farentino. So Mr. Mark, again,
Yes.
thank you for being here, and I really, really welcome you, and so grateful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I've heard so much about you over the last couple of weeks. This seems like you're my cousin. That's how I'm heard about
Hey,
you.
cousin.
It's like I'll see you Thanksgiving.
That's
You
right.
know. So what I would like for you to do, if you don't mind, don't have us on here crying first of all, because I'm a water bag. I already got my tissue. I'm ready. But tell us your story. Tell us who you are. Tell us your story. And like I said, well, I was telling Juicy, I said maybe your story can bless someone else.
Okay.
And then tell us, and then we're gonna ask questions based on what you're telling us.
Okay.
So get my tissue ready. Go ahead.
All right. So, hello world. I am Mark Farentino, and I lived the life of being a homosexual for as long as I can remember. And early on in my earlier years, when I first had sex, I was 8 years old. And I wasn't molested, I wasn't raped, I wasn't forced. It was, I don't know, just something I wanted to do. But mind you, I had seen some porn maybe when I was about 6 or 7, right? So this is how I knew what sex was.
Okay.
And so by the time I was, I guess about 12 years old, I had a sugar daddy, and he was definitely an adult, but it wasn't forced. It wasn't something that was pushed on me. It was me coming on to him because I knew he had money.
Okay.
And so I lived in a
Boy, look at him.
so I lived in a great state of poverty in those days, and he had the money, and I knew where to get money from, and I guess I had was hustling before it became popular. So as the years went on, well, even around that time is when I came out the closet to my mom. It wasn't something that I felt embarrassed or ashamed about. I was really bold. I was like, so, I'm gay, right? And she was like, your ass, not mine. and that life, though, it led to a lot of stuff happening for me. I can say I was a very violent child. I carried a lot of weight. I was always, in the midst of fights and always around adults. So I saw a lot and was exposed to a lot at an early age. And so
I don't want to cut you off. Let me ask you a real quick question. So when you told your parents or your mom, your parents or just your mom?
Just my mom, but my dad was in prison, so that went by way of a letter.
So when you told your parents, were they accepting, or did they ostracize you? Did they put you out? Did they shun you? Did they turn their back on you? How did that turn out?
So I think that I wasn't necessarily ostracized from or even pushed aside at all. I was already living a life of being forgotten because my parents were on drugs. So it wasn't something where you felt any different from, any form of mistreatment. They was already ignoring you. So,
and how old were you when you told them?
You didn't feel, or at least I didn't feel, oh God, did I catch it? Okay, all right. So I'm still here. All right. So, so in that light, my parents were, like I said, were on drugs, and so I didn't feel a great sense of, any different from how I was already being treated, and so I am 43. So when I was 12, this was, crack era.
Mhm.
And if we all are adults here, we all were around in those days, and we know that in those days it was drugs, drugs, drugs.
Right.
So being a product of that environment, you did not necessarily have the attention of I mean, I don't know how your life was, but for my life, we didn't necessarily have a direct audience with our adults in our family, because it wasn't so much that they didn't, make sure the rent was paid, or they didn't make sure that food wasn't on the table, but they didn't necessarily care to raise us. And the streets raised me personally. And I was always around adults and always in the midst of, a bunch of danger for a child.
Mhm.
And so, but growing up, I had, I got into a place in my life where I was tired of the lifestyle, and I was tired of living like a homosexual or as a homosexual. And I started going to church. And so when I started going to church, I got saved. And at least from the lifestyle I was living at the time, I was delivered from the spirit of homosexuality. And we live and we grow, and then we backslide. And so you see now you're talking to the backslidden me, the one who went back to the world because I found that, and I wasn't hurt by the church, but I couldn't find the support that I needed to maintain that level of purification, if you understand that. So I personally don't think that.
Messages received from Daniel Donnie and Cordell Friend.
I personally don't think that me being in this lifestyle is something that I don't want to say that God did not intend. I don't never tell people that, God didn't intend for you to be who you are. We are who we are because we were created by a creator. And so it's never me ever suggesting that a person, should not live the life that they're living, because we all have a destiny and we all have a path. And, you're supposed to meet people along this journey. So, consider it. If I was straight and living in a different lifestyle, and I was a hustler and I was a drug dealer in California, then I wouldn't be able to be right here inspiring who's ever listening, So God puts us in these bodies, in these shells, and we're here for a purpose, but the life also, and I hope that I haven't jumped too far into the conversation, but I'm just a believer that I understand that we sometimes make our lives to be solely about us, right? It's only about me. It's never about the next person or the journey that we're on. And I say that from a perspective where, when God saves us, he saves us for another individual. He doesn't save us for us. And we think that salvation is a gift only for us, but it's so that we can then be light. And light is for everybody, not just for me. Even the scripture says you don't take light and hide it under a bushel, but you set it on top of a hill so that everybody can see it, right? So the lifestyle though that I was living, it was something that I did not necessarily enjoy until, well, I did enjoy it, excuse me. I did completely enjoy it until I got saved and decided to turn it all over. And then once being saved and trying to live right, I went through tons of spiritual warfare, I mean, attacked from every level. And it was then that I recognized that it was definitely something that I felt like the life I was living was a one that God would want me to be, right? He wanted me to live a life of purification. And so, and I don't want to necessarily say that this lifestyle is wrong, like you're hell bound. I don't tell people that, because the Bible says we don't know who's going to heaven and we don't know who's going to hell. The scripture said there is a Lamb's book of life, and then if your name is in it, you go. But it was only one found worthy to read it. So it wasn't nobody on the earth, right? And so don't nobody know who's going to heaven, don't nobody know who's going to hell. And see, what we tend to do is we tend to crucify people because of the stuff we can see, right? We say, you know, the gay person and the drunk person and the drug dealer and the murderer and the person that is an adulterer, they're all going to hell. That's the first thing we say. But if you read the scripture, I mean, it's so much stuff in it that that we do that we shouldn't do. So it's not to say that one is better than the other, right? Because we ain't supposed to eat seafood, and we're not supposed to wear, the opposite clothing of the other sex, and women put on men Timberland boots and all types of stuff, right? A false balance is an abomination, where I've given one to this much to that one and this one to the other. So the scripture says that even us rolling our eyes at each other is sin, right? He called it a haughty look. And so, yeah.
Before you get too far here, I just want to piggyback on what you said something about when you got into the church, and the reason why, partly of the reason why you're no longer there now is because of the fact that you are no longer getting fed or fulfilled or receiving what it is you needed. Sorry about that. You are no longer getting what you needed to for your spiritual growth. That's one of the problems that I see in church, especially Black churches, that we as gay men, gay people, there's no one there for us to connect to.
Right.
Because I'm a firm believer, in order for you to understand me, then you must have also gone through with what I've gone through.
That's right.
But it's almost like when you have a parent that passed away, and someone say, "Well, hey Anthony, how you doing? How's your mom?" I'm like, "Oh, she passed." And they say to me, "Oh, I know how you feel." And then my response to them, not to sound rude, is, "So is your mom dead too?" No, they don't know how I feel.
That's right.
So with this journey that we're going through called homosexuality, if you haven't gone through it, you don't know what I'm feeling. You don't know what you don't know my struggle.
That's real.
So in the Black church, or in any church, but I don't want to speak for the Black, but in the Black church, when we go there, there's no one that understands me. So you're standing in the pulpit, you're saying something, but you're speaking from a heterosexual point of view. Who or where is the individual that have gone through what I've gone through, that is quote unquote healed, saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues, fire baptized, that can now lead me to salvation? And then
so I understand that, and I'll tell you this much. There is a quote that says to put if the person whoever wants change, to put all of your focus on what it is that you want and not on what it is that you're going through.
Right.
Okay. So what often happens is because some of us go through a lot of stuff, right? We go through a lot of stuff in our lives, and we also feel like we need people who can understand us. And I get that. But ultimately, the goal is for me to come out of it. I don't necessarily need that person to understand what I went through. I need somebody who can show me the path to purification so that I can go through it, right? So I think that's important. And I think that often what happens is we get, when you just said, we kind of get stuck because we feel like who can be that support system, right? And I understand, I know, because, like when my issue was, when I came out of the lifestyle in itself, it was me going to church, and then the Lord led me to, pastors and a church that were prayer warriors. I mean, really super strong prayer warriors. And I'm talking about fasting all the time and praying all the time. And they just got them praying, and then they praying again, and then they about to pray again. And so, and I say that to say that that strength from always praying ultimately gives you the power to resist these urges or these desires. And it doesn't even have to be homosexuality. It can be any form of urge or desire. Ultimately, the scripture says that man ought to always pray, because prayer changes things, right? And so I get it that we look for that support from somebody who's gone through it. But what I need, the support that I need, is the person that knows how to purify. And if I can put my focus on that individual, then they can show me how to let go. Because the thing about it is that in the world is the world. And sin is sin. And not one bigger than the other. Not your cuss is better than my murder. Not your lie is bigger than my adultery. Sin is sin.
True.
And so if I can be taught how to let go of sin, then it all goes away. It doesn't just pick one that you resist. The scripture said to resist the devil and he'll flee from you. Right. So if I can make up in my mind that I decide to resist him, then all of his stuff goes. Right. Jesus said it like this, that when the prince of this world comes, he finds none of him in me. So I believe what we sometimes do in the church is we look for the support from certain individuals who have gone through, because people have been on crack, and then they've now pastors, and they say, I can tell you how to get off crack because I used to be on crack, and now I know, how to let it go. So, but we don't know how to let go of other desires. But the scripture said that sometimes these things only go out by fasting and prayer. Some things only go out by fasting and prayer. Some things ain't just sit it down, let it go. Some things is you got to resist that thing.
Right.
I was trying to understand, you had mentioned that, because Tony had asked, when your father was locked up, but your mom, when you told her what was going on, how did she embrace you? Did she reject you? What happened with that?
So I don't think that there was, so my mother was on drugs, and her response to her children were, y'all gonna get fed and y'all gonna get out my face. That was it. And so no matter what you was going through, I just got finished fighting. Okay, go eat, and I'm going to go do me. So I understand that it would seem like, would she reject me or did she embrace me? She never stopped loving me. You got what I'm saying? She never stopped loving me. I never felt a disconnect when it came to the love relationship for my life. But I don't think that she was ever a fan of the homosexual lifestyle in itself. So, but I never felt like she was mean to me because I was gay. I think that she was just mean because she was high.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so at 12 years old, you fast in the ass, a little tenderoni.
Fast tail, honey.
Yes. So my question to you, and this is a personal question, and you don't have to answer it.
No, we're good. We're talking.
Were you ever molested?
Nope. I was never molested. I was never raped. I was never forced. In fact, I wanted the sex. I told you, I learned sex from porn when I was like 6, 7 years old. And by the time I was 8, I had my first sexual interaction with somebody that was my age. And the times just went on from there. And
was that a male or a female?
With a male, with men or with boys, and as I grew older, I had so much sex. By the time I was like 19, I was celibate. I was like, I'm tired of sex, and it wasn't an issue, and it's never been an issue. Like I've never been that person that has been in victim mode. If you got what I'm saying, I never felt like, woe is me, I can't believe this happened to me, the world is against me because I'm gay. I've never been there. In fact, I used to be, like I said, always in fights, but I will fight the homophobic people. They couldn't gay bash me, I straight bash them. So, and it's not to take away from people who have gone through that or have experienced that. I know that that's a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. And I know that everyone has not just wanted to willingly be in the lifestyle. Some people were, forced and then made to feel as if telling somebody would make them, wrong or to be a bad person, so to say.
So do you feel that being gay is wrong?
Yeah, I do, but
do you feel that way also because the way that you were raised and taught? Because remember, we are a product of our environment. So if you're raised in certain parts of the world, Christianity is wrong.
I agree.
So again, so do you feel the way you feel because of your teaching, your upbringing, what you've read?
So I feel like it's wrong because and hear this, because this is not for everybody. All right. I feel like it's wrong because it's a lot of illusion that goes into it. It's a lot of illusion, like, for example, with men or women who become transsexuals, right? There's a level of illusion there that says, call me a woman because I now have breasts and I have, altered my genitalia, and now call me a woman. But that doesn't make you a woman. You got what I'm saying? What makes a man and what makes a woman is our chromosomes. And internally, though I had cosmetic surgery on the outer, internally, I'm still a man. And so, yeah, I would believe that that's a wrong thing to do because God didn't make a mistake. He didn't put a woman in a man's body or a man in a woman's body. He knew what was going on when he did it. And I think that what we tend to do is we believe our own stuff. You got what I'm saying? As humans, we believe our own stuff. And yeah, I do understand that that we can find way, like you say, in Christianity, it's wrong, and in Saudi Arabia, and then when you get to America, it's the best thing next to cook food. So it's based off culture, right? But I think that in all of those places, whereas religion is a choice, I think that the lives that we live are choices too.
Okay. The reason why I say something about right or wrong is because, and then you brought it up, chromosomes.
Yeah.
Look now, vision this.
Yes.
Male and female are born with chromosomes.
Yes.
With male and female chromosomes in them.
Yes.
Whether you're male, you still have female chromosomes in you, and if you're female, you have male chromosomes in you, because you were created by him and her.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you think it's possible that a male could have more female chromosomes, which cause him to be pretty, good skin,
yeah,
nice lashes,
yes,
long nails,
yes,
or she could be born with more male chromosomes. That's why she has a natural mustache and a beard.
Yeah.
She has a deep voice. She has muscles, biceps, and triceps.
Yeah.
She can go out there and play basketball like the best of them. Be the next WNBA star.
Yes.
Now, although we're said and believe that God doesn't make mistakes, and that's something we've read, we've learned, we've studied, and we feel with our whole heart.
Yes.
I agree that God doesn't make mistakes, but in His creating, when you see a boy that's acting out, as they say, being a little sweet, being a little feminine, being a little this, being princey.
Yeah.
Based on the chromosome makeup of his body, that created him, that the Creator made.
Yes.
If that boy child has more female chromosomes, then that's how he's going to react or going to act, because he's internally probably more female than male.
I got you. I understand your position.
Vice versa, same thing with the female. She's out there, playing football, basketball, got a full. I worked at Walmart, and two of my cashiers had, and they're females, both had a full mustache thicker than mine. And I was like, what the hell? But I understood the makeup, the chromosome, the genetics.
Yeah.
So as pretty as those two women were, like I said, their mustache was thicker than mine. They had to shave more frequently than I did.
Yes.
So again, not trying to build a story that God make mistakes. He doesn't. But what would be wrong with that female who has more male chromosomes? She's just reacting based on what's inside.
Right. So I'm with you. I agree with you. I do know that happens. I know that happens because even in birth, sometimes a man or a woman is born with two genitalia, right? And so I do know that happens. And again, I believe it's based on choice. I don't think that because what I understand, or at least from how you outlined it, to say that, it's what we've read and what we've been taught, right? I'm with you that this is how we believe, right? So I think that what we all understand is that humans were born sinners, right? So nobody was born pure. We all was born with stuff. And in that light, we make a decision, or we make a choice to do what it is that we desire to do. None of us just, we lie without knowing how to lie. You know what I'm saying? And we learn, we hear a cuss word, and it's easy to cuss. It ain't something that you got to study a book with.
Right.
So I think the same thing goes along with when it comes to our flesh. We are happy with the choices that we make. And again, I want to make sure that you hear me that I don't put people in heaven and I don't put people in hell. I don't know who's going. I'm not that person. You know what I'm saying? I can't say if my next day tomorrow is in the pit or at the pearly gates. I don't know. But what I will say to that light is the Lord knows your journey. He knows your path and he knows the direction that you take. And again, like I said early on, that, we are born and, God made you. God made us. God handpicked each one of us.
Amen.
So it's not to say that this person, though having more chromosomes on the left or more chromosomes on the right, is wrong for the desires that they feel. Because again, we are, like you said, what we are going by is what we've been taught and how we were raised. And like, because in one part of the world, if you go to the islands, you go to Dominican Republic, they will hump you right off the plane.
Amen.
So I'm totally with you. I get that. It's all about culture, right? And so culture plays a part in decision making.
Right.
And so, but as far as the person who's born, like I said, some are born with more genitalia than another, right? I think they call hermaphrodites, right?
Hermaphrodite. Mm-hmm.
Right, and that person, do you make the decision for them or do they make the decision for themselves? You got what I'm saying? So I can't say you see a man, you looking at a man, you see a man, but you don't know what I got in my pants.
Right.
You don't know if this is fat or these real breasts.
At 43 years old,
it's just fat.
Okay.
They call those man boobs.
Okay.
I have a question though. How can a person identify that they have, more chromosomes than the other, and what does that really mean? Because me personally, I was born a woman, but my actions are somewhat masculine. I feel like, and Alma can attest to that too. She, sometimes she feel like she should have been born a man. How do you really identify that you have more than the other? Or is it not just you
I
being
want to.
who you are? If that makes, I'm not sure if I'm asking this question correctly. I don't know if it's the right way,
I
but
understand it.
The chromosome count doesn't change per your orientation. The chromosome determines your sex, and so you have your chromosomes Y and X, and that makes you male, female. But the hormone testosterone and estrogen is what determines your femininity and your
Or masculinity.
masculinity. And right. And so a lot of times, like as
yeah.
a mom, when we're being given our prenatal vitamins and the foods we eat, we can be the prenatal vitamins have a high level of testosterone in it to help regulate your growth for the child at a certain points. You're needing certain hormone intake to develop um, at this level, how this psychological trait and so forth. And so at that time during
Mm.
the childbirthing process, when you're carrying your child, determines how that child can come out and be born and its orientation with society. And so a lot of it has to do with the lifestyle. Say your mother was living in a fashion that had her be aggressive, very defensive while she was pregnant because she had to defend herself. A lot of us mothers, even during childbirth and during the childbearing time, we're single. We have to be our own provider and our protector and caregiver. So when you're in that mode and doing for you and your unborn child, you're creating hormones. Those hormones are being passed on. And you have to also be mindful too that as a woman, our eggs have been in us since birth. And we were in our mother's body since she was born. And the cycle has continued and continued. So generation after generation, if that mother had to be strong, had to be the assertive one to the backbone, you're gonna have that child come out being that strong, that assertive, that backbone. Like you say, may seem like you have feminine traits, but it's your genetic makeup because that's the hormone balance that was chemically creating you. It's not necessarily the chromosome, it's the hormone that determines your orientation.
So could one have more? Could he have more of a feminine hormone?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
Right. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. So when children come out, hey, let me give you a perfect story. I remember growing up in the projects where we lived at in the projects in West Palm Beach. I remember my family and I, we could sit at the dining room table, the kitchen table, and we could look out our kitchen window. And in the back was a sidewalk that led probably 4, 5, 6, about 8 houses could walk behind us, 8 apartments. And they would have to walk behind our apartment to go to the garbage dumpster to throw out their trash. And I remember like it was yesterday, there was this one kid that used to walk and take out the trash, and he was probably no more than 6 or 7. And then we could say, look at Miss So-and-so child. Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be gay.
He gonna be a punk when he grow up.
Uh-huh.
He gonna be a faggot. He gonna be sissy. He gonna be a
Yeah.
girl.
Uh-huh.
Right now, that child is grown. That child is a sex change, has a vagina. That child, that person has 2 adopted kids that he's raised as his own, and the kids have no idea anything that's mama. He adopted them as babies. And they were brother and sister, siblings. This child has a PhD, has a doctorate degree, teaches at one of the universities, evangelist at a local church, live her life as a female. But I knew he was going to be a she at 6.
But you know, a lot of times people assume that this is going to happen when they see those feminine traits at a young age, but it's not always necessarily the case. Because I know several individuals that were feminine when they were younger, very feminine. And Lee Andrew Clark said, I remember, okay, I've known several people, huh?
That's my cousin.
Oh, hey, cuz.
You just, she remember who you talking about.
I've known several people that were but were extremely feminine when they were 5 and 6 and 7, and they're still feminine, but they don't have the desire to have the sex change, and they're not gay. They're straight men. They just have feminine mannerisms.
And to that point, when I was a kid and I was young, I used to dress like a girl. I used to be like a whole drag queen. I mean, I could wear high heels and everything. And
I was gonna ask that because of the smooth face.
Thank you. But yeah, I used to dress like a girl, and at one point I was like, I'm gonna grow me some titties and I'm going to get my sex change. And again, when to your point, when you said, do I think it's wrong? And it's like, so I'm going to alter my body to become a woman, but I'm still a man. And that's not a secret. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely look in my face and see a man, but am I suggesting that the love of God is not on your life? I'm never suggesting that. I don't think that God loves you or any person any less because of a decision that they've made. Because I mean, come on, people smoke. That's the same. You're still altering your body. Your lungs are being destroyed when you're not supposed to be destroying your lungs. So you know what I'm saying? And we sometimes create this thing where we attack folk for their decisions in life. And so I'm not that person that's saying, one person, because of me personally, my personal feeling is that the lifestyle is wrong. I don't necessarily believe that we are going straight to hell, because as long as you're on the earth, your flesh will always gravitate to the damnations of hell. Sin will try to find us at every turn. The scripture said, when I think to do good, evil is always present.
Satan's job is to still kill
My
and
question.
destroy. So he gonna do everything he can to try to bring you to the other side, and he gonna package it all up nice and pretty. But just like God know what you like, the devil know what you like too. And he gonna dress it up just how you like it, with a pretty bow, and it's gonna be just what you want. But it ain't gonna be what you need, and that's gonna be how he gets you. That's
Yeah,
how he
that's
try
true.
to get you.
We
Yeah.
we
That's
had a
true.
comment that said we judge and we judge wrongly, and I agree with that.
So
We
what
do
I
do you
want to
judge
think?
and
know
we
how
judge
many
wrongly.
debates. I
I'm
want to
sorry,
know how
Tina.
many debates you done been in when you say what you call it, that like being transgender and all that, it is like an illusion. How many debates or fights have you got in about that? Like literally, like debates, because when you in the alphabet community, you say something
LGBTQ,
like that,
okay.
honey, honey. I'm
So I
surprised
mean,
you got
often.
Facebook or any of that.
So to be honest though, Tiama, I don't have these conversations with people. My views are my personal views. I don't go around telling the world you this, you that, you wrong for this or wrong for that. But I personally believe, when asked, these are my personal views. Like, we get mad at, you call me a faggy, Well, we use those same derogatory terms when we call each other nigga and bitch, but that's supposed to be acceptable, right? And the world goes in an irate, tear up the party because you called the person a faggy or something of that nature. And understand where I'm coming from. The word nigga was used to hang our black mothers and fathers from trees, and was used to enslave our families. And then the word bitch was used to degrade women, but now it's you my nigga and I'm a bad bitch, right? And then I get mad because somebody called me a faggy. Oh, that's the same derogatory stuff.
I don't know if you watch TV lately. You can't say
Yeah,
that's
you
why I'm
can't say
like, how many
it.
debates
That's the
have
thing.
you got it?
But consider it. Consider this and consider this. There was a time when you couldn't call people a nigga and it would turn into something else. And there was a time when women would be like, don't call me a bitch. I'm going to get my brother to beat you up. You remember that? Well, remember the
Yeah.
song of Queen Latifah, UNITY? That's a unity. Remember that? And don't call me a bitch. Remember her? All strong. And then it turned into generations later, I'm a bad bitch. And
Now
so
we calling ourselves a bitch, right?
we call ourselves a bitch, right? And then now it's, don't call me a faggy because I'm not a faggy. Okay, fine, but I use the same derogatory terms to demean myself and to demean my brother and my sister in this life, but I get completely irate and pull up because a person on this side uses a derogatory term that they've seen, that they feel fit for me. That's not to say that you should accept it, but then we can't use this lopsided coin, right? On this side you accept it, but on that side you don't. I get mad when, and hear me, because I'm making a very valid issue, a point here. And I've seen a video where in the video the white people was only the white people was in this room, and they was calling each other, nah, my nigga, you 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 my nigga. Go ahead. What's up, nigga? And that's not you calling them each other niggas because they are liking the term. What they're doing is emulating us as a people, degrading ourselves. So then we get mad when we hear the term faggy, right? We get angry at that.
Hey,
And
Mark, quick question for you before you move on from that. Did you know they changed the definition of the N word?
I didn't know it, but that's crazy.
Because it used to be ignorant people used to be the definition.
Yeah, I
Now
saw it.
it's literally labeled as a derogatory term for black people. They literally changed the definition.
I do remember it used to be for ignorant people, but I didn't know that it was told. I didn't know that
Hold
it
on a
was
minute.
told. Uh, turn into a different topic. I mean, turn into a different
This
definition.
meaning, yeah. I just wanted to throw this out there before you went on to that other word that you were about to say. And I have to get on. I'm a teacher, and I have to get on my students all the time. They say that word all the time, and I have a spasm in my classroom. You can't speak like that in here.
I mean,
You can't do that.
I'm not suggesting that we should call each other these
Oh no.
derogatory,
I'm not saying you saying that. No, I'm not saying that.
but I just want to bring that to
Did you
light.
know they switched it up on us?
No, but I wanted to bring that to light because Tiama had asked about how many fights do I get into with, talking about the illusion of a transgender person. And again, like I said, I don't necessarily voice these views to people, but when asked, these are my viewpoints, and they're not coming from somebody who didn't live the life. They're coming from somebody who is still in it. Okay, so
Let me
not
tell you, they don't care if you still in it. They'll boycott you, take your job, have you on here talking about, I apologize. I apologize.
yeah, but
They gonna cancel your ass. They gonna cancel
That's
you.
I'm like, how many debates you done got into?
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't have these conversations with people. I let people do them. I'm not here to judge folk. I'm here to love people. But when asked about my own personal views, these are my personal views. So that's
Let me
my
tell you,
position.
I was on this show, and Tony will tell you what I said was no harm, no foul, and it was actually me speaking on my own transgender sister, which he was my brother from birth, and literally, Tony, am I lying? I literally got my head bit off, and everybody knew I was bisexual. So I don't know how you'd have got along this far. And you can say what the what? I don't know. I gotta try to get you on, cause honey, even just with regular friends saying something, they'll be ready to chop your head off. Illusion. I just was asking a question.
Andy, I sent you the link. You keep sending me messages that you want to come on the show. I sent the link to your phone. So to Messenger, and I put it here in the comment section. So all you gotta do is click on the link and follow the instructions, and you'll be on the show. But I've sent the link to you 4 times. So check Messenger. I sent you the link in Messenger, and I sent it 3 times here in the comment section.
To speaking out about like being bold, this is the time. Something that you, Mark, taught me in when you, I guess it was maybe the era when you were saved. I don't know, and were preaching, and you had wrote because you've written books, and you did, which I thought it was you were ministering, and when you were saying to be obedient is one thing, but when you delay and don't move on obedience, that's being disobedient.
Yeah.
And so say the quote. Say the quote, Prophet.
So a delayed obedience is disobedience.
Right.
Delayed
A delayed
obedience.
obedience is disobedience. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like what a lot of what you have to say and as a message to people is okay to be who you are respectfully to yourself and to others, but at the same time acknowledging and awareness of who you are. It's like I say, it's not being afraid, not
You
being
can't
ashamed
be
and
afraid.
insecure.
That's real. You can't be afraid. And I get it that, my viewpoints are controversial. I get that. I don't take that away. But, that's just the depth of who I am. The scripture says that the deep calls unto the deep. And so, when we are called to say or do whatever it is that we feel led to do that. Be you. Don't be afraid or don't hold back. Like, it's like Anthony, you made the point, like when going to church, you can't find people that, will support you because of, not you personally, but a person in that life that, had lived that way, but because they're so afraid, don't be afraid is what I think Juicy is saying. So I think that's important.
So she said you wrote a book. What's the title of your book?
Exposing the spirit of homosexuality. But this was even long before the views that I have now. This was back in 2004. And the views that I have now are they're not necessarily different, but the book in itself is talking about what I went through, like stuff that I went through. Like when I told you that I went through spiritual warfare, I can remember having sex in a dream and resisting the sex, saying, I don't want it in the dream. I don't want it. I don't want it. Get off of me. And when I woke up, the sheets was humping me and it was a demon spirit. And as soon as I said, I saw the sheep literally having sex with me. It was a spirit. And when I said, oh my God, that thing said, and went right back inside. And so I went through these classes of getting spirits cast out of me and dealing with lust spirits and things of that nature. So, I don't come from a place of just speculation and just talking down to make people try to, feel a certain way. I'm talking about what I really went through. I'm not lying to you. I used to dress like a woman and I would give my body with no regards. And so it's not something that I ever want anybody to feel like if you hear from me or that this message is in intent with harm. It's not, because I literally lived this. This is where I walked through nights and days of, feeling as if I was being tormented, and I'm talking from a real place of experience. So like, there was many different times, many different occasions where I've dealt with demonic warfare and trying to purify myself from these things and learning, the oppositions of when you say you and God, now here come the devil, and I'm talking about warfare at another level, not just he messing with the lights and he messing with the bill money.
Right.
Okay, so question that's a whole nother, maybe we can hit it a little bit. When you say warfare and what you were going through, like what you just described, and then in the beginning when you were speaking of not having support in church at the time where you were trying to transition and live a purity life like you expressed. Was that where the support was needed to get through those battles? And in a sense, you could say that because you didn't have support, you gave into the battle and just went to the norm that was comfortable for you?
Okay, so that was all right. So in my story, it is not as clear cut as you just said. And as I described early on to Anthony, that when resisting the devil, you let all of it go, not just one thing. So when you're looking for support, you focus your energy on trying to find your way to the purification, not trying to find your way to what picking the thing up that you like. How can I say, I'm dealing with something that's so heavy, so I'm dragging it along with me. But that's not how you do it when you're trying to purify. When you're trying to purify is you resisting all of it and saying, let it all go. So in that light, it wasn't that I didn't have the support, because the support was in prayer. The support was in learning how to pray and learning how to fast and learning how to seek the face of God. And the lack of support came from when the church that I was attending closed. And then I didn't have that same support in system anymore.
Okay. And then I also wanted to, we were speaking, the topic is from the victory. This brought out something great in you, I can say, as your cousin. Your creativity, your pizzazz, and your spunk. You have a drive and a boldness that just is your exclamation mark in everything that you do.
Yeah.
And you have made your statement in fashion for women and for men, but especially like your purses, your shoes. Tell us about your lines.
So I am an artist by nature, right? So even when I was a kid, I used to write poetry, and I have published 8 books in my lifetime. This book, Exposing the Spirit of Homosexuality, is the first book that I've written. And then I published another book. It was a poetry book 2 years later. And then in 2009, I became a photographer. And then in 2010, I started my handbag line. And then from then until now, I'm still doing handbags. And in 2018, I published 5 books, technically 4, but one of them is an audio version, and you have to have the hard copy published, so it makes it 5.
Get that money.
And then 2019, I flew to Italy and started a shoe line, and then since then, in 2021, I published my 8th book.
Do you have any of your shoes or purses we can see?
I do. All right, hold on one second. Okay, let me get it. Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
we'll put you on spot, boo.
Yeah, I didn't tell him I was going to ask him about that.
Y'all, I was sitting in my car.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the Farentino shoe. Let me untie it a little bit so you can see the detail. So this is the Farentino shoe. You see the Farentino on the tag. And then
there's a Farentino right there also. Mark, whole name, Mark Rand. Yes. Come on.
And that's the shoe. Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
women, I'm a size 10.
That's the shoe. And then this is typically a purse that I would have would look like this. This is about the size of a sheet of paper. So it's almost like an 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. 8.5 by 11.
They come in tons of different colors and colors and colors and colors. So, but that's
get it, entrepreneur.
All right, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, all day long.
You have the bigger bags too.
What you say, Juicy?
Where are your bigger bags?
I don't have any in here, but like this bag in itself, it wasn't for sale. I just so happened to have it, and I, leave it over there. I had stuff in this. Like these are labels. You can't see them. Let me see. Because of the light. But these are what they are is these labels right here.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because
I'm so proud of you.
On my,
thank you. I appreciate that.
How they can find you.
So you can find me on. Thank you, Leandre, Leandre Clark. You can find me on Mark Farentino Pink Label on Facebook. And
you have a website for the your product?
So I have a website, but it ain't for my products. Facebook is the better location. But my website is markfarentino.com.
Oh, but your product is on your website.
No, it's not on my website. I didn't update it because I don't know. I'm using Weebly, and Weebly, shout out to Weebly, but they don't answer their phone. Didn't get no help.
So hold on. I'm trying to get this information on the screen. So what is your Facebook again?
Mark Farentino, Pink Label.
So then we got to get some help to get the website updated.
Yeah, the website needs to get updated.
Okay.
I just released a new book. It's called Felicity Boulevard. That book is good, y'all. It's about these two prostitutes. and they got their drug dealer friends.
Yes, you're doing your thing.
The shoes are $300, but I give you the family discount, half off.
Tony, give me them shoes.
What size do you wear, Leandre?
$300.
Well, yeah, but that's Italian shoes for you.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, you sure enough better know.
Okay. Yeah, we have
when me and my best friend went to Paris, child. Oh, honey, Mama was clutching pearls.
It's all just so pretty.
Girl, I didn't even have no pearls and I was clutching.
I know that's right.
Wow.
Oh, my shirt.
Overall, I just want to say, Mark, I am so happy to meet you and happy to have you on the show. I am just blown away at your success and all the things that you are accomplishing.
Thank you.
I too am working on one book, and I've put it on the back burner several times. So now, seeing you doing all this is like, okay, now I need to get off my ass and light a fire under my ass and do what I need to do to put this book out.
Yeah, go ahead. It don't take much.
You are definitely inspiring.
Thank you so much.
And for those of you who want his book, the first book that he mentioned, Exposing the Spirit of Homosexuality, the link is in the comment section. I went to Amazon and grabbed the link and put it in the comment section. So you got to just click on it. You got to search for it. Just click on the link and spend some coins. That's his first book. And then if you search Amazon, if you search his name, you'll automatically find more of his books on Amazon. And so go to Amazon.com and type in his name. The rest of his books will come up.
Yeah, thank you all too for your support, and I appreciate you all for this opportunity.
No, we appreciate you for coming.
Yes, thank you for coming. Yes.
I love the platform. You all keep up the great work. I'm proud of y'all for
Proud of you, baby.
Y'all support and y'all helping
just
people.
trying to be lazy. You gave
Y'all are helping a lot of people
live tonight.
Your story has really is what the devil meant for bad. God showed him that it turned around for its own good, because you are doing the damn thing.
Thank you so much.
You are doing it. What do you say? Oh, Tony, you
I thank you for joining us. One of the reasons I was expressing to Tony that I felt it could be on, because I feel it spun from one of the letters that was written in. There was a young man who had said he was a child from his parents were pastors, and he wanted to come out, but he was afraid to explain to his parents that he was gay because he didn't know how they would receive it. And as a panel, we all had our views, but one of the things that was thought of was that he could be ostracized and kicked out, and what would he do? And the thing I had expressed to them was, I have a cousin who had that same similar scenario. He was how he was in his life, and when he expressed he was, or what his desires was, it didn't stop him from continuing on in life. And yes, he had to adventure out and fend for self and do as he needed to do, but he took it and he persevered. And that was what I wanted to be able for people to see, even the person who wrote the letter, to know to walk in your truth and be confident in who you are, because it's your journey and you've
It's your
got to
journey.
live it.
You gotta live it. And again, I also want to make sure that to anyone who was listening, nothing that I said had the malicious intent to harm or to offend. I just spoke from my own walk and my own journey.
May I ask you, what just off topic, just a tad bit. What was your drag name?
What was yours?
I'm gonna have to tell you offline. I would only tell you offline because I've tried to put it behind me for so long. I don't want me now to make it public, and then everybody be saying, "Oh yeah, hey you know that." But I'll
do
tell you.
that when I pull up.
I'll tell Juicy. I'll text it to Juicy, and Juicy can tell you, but just not online.
Actually, we're getting ready to end the show, but don't go off. So we'll be backstage and we'll talk amongst ourselves backstage. So give him about 2 minutes.
Okay.
So other than your website and your Facebook, is there any other way that they can reach you?
I guess Instagram is Farentino92, but Facebook is the more active account.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to also touch base with you because my roommate is actually a web designer.
Mm-hmm.
And I know of 2 other web designers also, and graphic designers. So we've been, as T.S. Madison says, step your pussy up. We're going to take you to the next level.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely going to work with you. Okay. T. Savage, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, I just heard T.S. Madison. Well, her crazy self on the Breakfast Club this morning.
Yes, she
But
was on the Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can find me out. Listen, I was hollering and screaming on the way to the job. The people looking at me like I was crazy. IDT Savage 1000. Facebook on your Drake and Birds. TikTok at T_Savage 100. And I did post a couple of new TikToks this weekend, so go check it out. Birds on you at gmail.com. 786-525-4691.
Thank you, Miss Savage. Okay. And Miss Juicy, drive them crazy.
I was supposed to get with you to change up that a little bit, but we're going to go with it. Juicy, you can reach me. We have Facebook, Nicole Gracefully Perseveres, but then I got some calls and they were like, well, what about your business page? And I didn't think about that. So if you don't want to find me, okay. But I'll say it here. It's Enliven Your Way to Wellness. That's my business page on Facebook. And you can get tons of health and holistic information that it's like web now, but enliven your way, all naturally. Or 785-422-6949 or Miss Beautiful on Instagram.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. And I'm trying to find the other banner. Hold on. And Miss Tiama Sweetness.
ATL show is where you find me. Just in Time Accessories. Tayama Sweetness Copeland on Facebook. Tayama01 Instagram. And my TikTok, don't go to my TikTok.
Not yet. Just make sure y'all hit up Tiana Sesame. She has beautiful, gorgeous jewelry, and everything is just $5. Can't go wrong with $5.
Y'all go to her TikTok, please. Please go to her TikTok. Like her videos and go to mine. You're going to see about 30 seconds of good twerking, not too much, because kids done found me on TikTok. Students done found me.
Wow.
You're trying to make me jobless. I don't got no TikTok.
Okay.
Don't go
I am Anthony Brown. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, of course, YouTube. And I am the Anthony Brown Show, a YouTuber, an influencer, and a mentor. And I often say at the end of every show, and I truly believe with my whole heart, you got to grind until you shine. Let's see, we got a comment here. I think this is for you, Mark.
What did it say? What they say?
Look you up on Facebook. Okay, now I'm going to look you up on Facebook.
All right. I look forward to meeting you.
Oof, let me just apologize
Do we have any information about the election?
Hold on, Juice. Let me just apologize because I said Leandro. Sorry, they say Leandro. Y'all know my eyes be bad at night. They terrible with these lashes on. I apologize. There's a whole man out here in these streets. Leandro. I called you Leandro. I'm so sorry. My lashes was blocking my view.
That's so crazy. The lashes blocking.
I read it as Leandro too.
Okay,
I didn't read the W. I ain't going front.
This time we're gonna do all the ladies, Savage, Tiama, and Juicy. Do it for Legacy.
ATL ho.
ATL ho.
ATL. They're back.
It's my time again.
Anthony, Tiama, T7, Legacy. They're back. They're the best. Let's get it. Season 2.
I'm the best at this shit, that's fact. And there's only one reason that I came back. I'm here to set the fucking record straight. Okay, I'm the best you other cats just fell the way. First off, ain't no beef with the spitters in my city. But if you come with 28, then shit get gritty. I'm shitty. Yeah, I shit on rappers. Either dead on the scene, since you wanna be actors. This the message. I'm talking over hills and places. This whole little feeling foggy. I'll be patient and waiting. It seems y'all forgot who really runs the throne. Screaming y'all number one, just because I was gone. See, ain't no stopping me now. I'm on the move. I'm on against team. Once when you ready to lose. The game, the street, the throne is took. This the message. Hope it leave you from the rapper. Sure. Yeah. The message. So y'all know. Yeah. The monster is back. And I'm at my spot.
ATL, ho.